Welcome everyone to today's session on reading and writing supports for Chromebooks. My name is Sheila Tulloch and I'm the Assistive Technology Specialist for SLCs 1 and 6. Joining me today are fellow AT specialists Richard McConnell and Leon Swinkles. Today we will be looking at supports many of our students in HRCE use to assist them with reading and writing. In particular, we will be reviewing Read and Write for Google Chrome and Co-Writer Universal. It's important to note that these supports are subscription-based and assigned to students' GNS accounts, so they can be accessed on any Chromebook with the student's sign-in. An AT referral is required for the students to have access to these supports as well. Before we begin looking at Read and Write, we wanted to highlight our website where you can find many supports. The easiest way to access our website is to go to the GNS PES landing page, and you'll find a link to our website under HRCE staff. Once on our site, you can find out more about our assistive technology services. In particular, you may like to browse through our tutorials and how-to guides, where there's lots of useful information, such as how to access extensions like Read and Write and Co-Writer if you're not using a Chromebook. In today's session, we'll be demonstrating the tools in Read and Write, and you don't need to have the Read and Write extension installed on your account for this. Read and Write is a free extension to all teaching staff though. So if after watching this webinar you would like it, you can go to our website and fill out the form to get the free extension. You just follow the link to their website and fill in the information. Select Read and Write. The critical part for this is that when you're filling out the information, when it asks for work email, that you use your GNS PES email, not your HRCE email. Once you've filled out the form, you can install the extension. If you've never installed an extension before, we also have a how-to guide on our website on how to install the extension, and we also have it in video form. So now that you know where to go for additional information after you watch this webinar, we're going to explore some of the tools in Read and Write. So Read and Write is a Google Chrome extension that provides literacy support in whatever application the student is using on their Chromebooks. It can be used in Google Docs, Google Slides, on websites, in Google Forms, and PDFs. As you can see from the toolbar, there are many features to support learning, including word prediction, having the text read aloud, and talk and type. We're going to explore some of these features in more detail now.
Okay, so I'm going to Google Doc, and I see at the top of my screen here, I have the little handle for the Read and Write. So once I click on that, my toolbar drops up, and likewise, if I wasn't using it, then I can come over here on the right hand side and I can hide that toolbar. So I'm just going to open it up, and looking at the toolbar, as I move over each of these items, these icons on the toolbar, it sort of gives me a little fly out of what they are. So on the very left-hand side, I'm going to turn on the word prediction. So I'm in a Google Doc, and this also works in Google Slides and Jamboard. And I have this little word window on my screen, and as I slide over each option, it tells me what it is. So before I even type a letter, there is sentence starters available. So if I was going to write the sentence, it is a nice sunny day out today. As I begin to type, the word prediction will offer me a variety of options based on what I type. It will also predict ahead. So if I see an option in the box, then I can just click on it and it puts it in my writing document. So I was saying it is a beautiful day outside. So as I start to type the word beautiful, I see after 2 selections and beautiful day, I don't see outside on my options, but as I start to spell the word and today, and I put a period. Okay. So word prediction, very similar to what's on your phone or on an iPad if you've used it before. And if anything that I've written and I need it read back, I can click at the beginning of the sentence and hit the play button on my read and write panel, and it will read it back to me. Now, there is one option you can also use with the word prediction. When I was typing my sentence, the word prediction box was tracking along or moving across the screen as I was writing. Some students prefer that this word window be parked somewhere permanently so it doesn't get in the way of their document. So in order to do that, over on the right hand side of your read and write toolbar, there is a 3 little buttons. It's called More, and when you select on that, just go to Options. And on your options, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but for now, you just go to Prediction, and on the Prediction option, you can have you can turn off where it says Follow the Cursor. So when I take that check mark out and say OK, my word prediction window can now be moved wherever it suits me. It won't track along with the text anymore. All right, so I'm just going to turn off my word prediction. And I'm going to look at the next option on the toolbar, which is dictionary. So with any text that's on your screen, if you come across a word and you're not sure what it is, you do have a built-in dictionary. So if I just highlight the word outside, because it's the one I want to look up, I can select dictionary, and the dictionary window will pop up and provide me with the definition of that word that's selected. So if I change the word to today, it changes up in that window as well. If I want to hear the selection that I have, then I can hit the play button that's next to the word. It will give me the definition of that word. Likewise, next to the dictionary icon is the picture dictionary. So same thing again. If I select the word, I'll select the word beautiful. And if I click on the icon picture dictionary, a panel will open up and give me a picture or a symbol of that word that's selected. And if you drag any of those options onto your screen, it'll drop a little symbol in your writing document. Okay, looking at the next few options on the toolbar, we've got a play, a pause, and a stop button. So the way they work is that I'm in a Google Doc, so any text I want read, I just click to the beginning of the sentence, or you can highlight it and hit play and it will read it. And if I want to stop it or pause partway through that reading, I just hit that respective button. All right, the next tool that we're going to look at the toolbar is the screenshot reader. So the way the screenshot reader works, so this is a tool that helps to select some text that can be read to you. So in a Google Doc, we wouldn't use this tool because we have text on the screen. We know to click at the beginning of it and hit play and it will read it to us. So I'm just going to go online to a website. It's a National Geographic for Kids, and this is just about penguins. And the way this works, the screenshot reader, is if I look at this image I have here, I see some text in here that may be difficult to select. So the screenshot reader allows me to put a window around the text I want to read, and it will do a character recognition and read it to me. So first thing I need to do, I'm on a website and I need to get my read and write toolbar. So I just go up to the top panel and I click on it. It just takes a second and the read and write toolbar should appear, hopefully. There it is. And when I select screenshot reader, you notice that the pointer now turns into a crosshair. So what I need to do is I need to put a window and capture the text that I want read. So I have everything captured within the four borders of my screenshot reader. Just takes a second to process the text, and when it's ready, it will read that to me. So what we see down the bottom here are these coupled lines. Now, if you notice within the box, I've got a play button, a pause button, and a stop button. So if I need to go back and listen to it again, I've got these options here. And when I'm done with it, I just click the X button and then I can continue on. Okay. The next item I want to look at on the screen is what's called the screen mask. And the screen mask is a tool that allows you, that assists you with reading. So if I click on the screen mask, and it creates a little what's called a reading ruler, just so as I can focus in on the text, and it removes the any clutter that's on the screen. Now with the screen mask tool selected, you'll see on the left-hand side a little diagram of the screen mask and a little gear and indicating there's some settings for the screen mask reader. So if I just click on the little gear there, I can change some of the settings. Maybe I need a wider screen mask tool. I can change the opacity, and I can also change the background color. So just a couple of little settings you can customize here. And when you've got it how you want it, you're good to go. Okay, so to get out of this tool, you just go back up to the toolbar and click on the screen mask reader, and it just returns you back to your normal viewing.
Now we're going to look at the last number of features on the read and write toolbar. So I'll pick up where Leon was. We'll look next at our talk and type. So this is a feature that is available to all students, whether they have read and write or not, if they're using Google Docs. So if you look under tools and voice typing, students can use their voice that way, or they can access it on the read and write toolbar. The advantage of having this feature in the read and write toolbar is that they can use voice typing in more than just Google Docs. They can use it in Google Forms, in PDF, or wherever they want to use talk and type. So if they are using this, just a couple of things I'll mention is when the recorder, it's black, that means it's turned off. And when I click on it, it's going to turn red, and that means it's listening. And whatever it hears, it's going to try and put into words. So I like to say to the students to first gather your thoughts, and it's really important to try and only do one thought at a time, especially at the beginning. We say, think it, say it, check it. So, for example, if I was going to talk about my dog, I would think of a sentence first, and then I'd turn it on a recorder, and then I'd stop. And so I like to try and really encourage the students to put the punctuation in while they are speaking, and that really helps with the editing process. So if they can start off by doing it one thought at a time, that's going to help them focus and stay on topic rather than just talking one long paragraph, and they may start rambling, and then they have to go back and they have to figure out where do they put their punctuation in. So it's easier if they do it one thought at a time. So I'll just give an example here. I have a new puppy! Exclamation mark. New paragraph. Do you have a dog? Question mark. So you can use those voice commands while you are doing your voice typing. And if we go on to the next one, our next feature is the translator. And with the translator, it just translates one word into whatever language we want. So if I have my cursor on the word world, when I hit translator, it's going to translate this. I have it set up that the language will be French, and it will.
Monde. Globe.
So it will also read it to me if I press the play button. If I didn't want it in French, maybe I am an EAL learner and I wanted another language, I can go back over to my options, and if I click on under speech, you'll notice it says translation, and I have it on French, but this is where I could change it to another language. So maybe perhaps if it's Arabic, and then if I click on world and I have translator again, we will see that the word in Arabic. So this can be a very helpful tool. For our next few tools are highlighters. I'm going to demonstrate these using a website. So I'll go back to a National Geographic site as well. And I just picked a web page about Arctic foxes. So you'll notice that we have a lot of text here on this page. We can again go back to what Leon had demonstrated earlier, and we could have text read aloud to us, which helps with the comprehension. So if I wanted some text read, and I could listen to it, and then maybe we might want a student to pick up maybe some main facts about Arctic foxes. So if we wanted to do that, they would select some text and they would click on the highlighter. Now we could use the same color highlighters for our facts, or maybe you wanted to have it that they choose something in green and then something else in blue, depending on what you were working on. You could have that as your choice. When we click on collect highlights, it will take what I've highlighted and it's going to open it up into a new Google Doc. In the Google Doc, you'll notice that the information that I've highlighted is there, and also the link back to the web page where I got the information. If we want to take off the highlighted colors, we can select it, and then the little the broom that says clear highlights, that will take our highlights away. The other thing we can do with this is, if I'm back into the same article, and I'm just going to clear these highlights. And our next feature is our vocabulary list. So this is a great way maybe to do some pre-teaching, or we can also have it, maybe if students are picking out words that they don't know what they are. So if they had the article read to them and then they could select some words that they weren't sure about and highlight them. Once they have the words, they can click on the vocabulary list, and that again will open up into a new web page or a new Google Doc. And with that Google Doc, it'll have the word, the definition of it, symbol, if there's a picture to help with the comprehension, and as well the notes section. So once I have my list, I can edit it. I could maybe take some of the text out if I thought that was too much for them. Instead of a notes, I can change this to be examples, and they could maybe write in examples that they have for that. So there's lots of ways we can use this feature as well. Our next feature is a voice note. So perhaps maybe our articulation is not great and the voice typing is not an option for a student. And with the word, they could use word prediction to help with their typing, but maybe their letter sound knowledge is a challenge as well. So instead of having someone scribe for them, this could be a way that they become more independent with their thoughts. We could use a voice note. So I could select the voice note, and it's just like having a voice recorder, and it's going to just everything that I say up to a minute long, it will record my voice. I would love to see an Arctic fox. We can listen to it back if we want, and then we can select insert, and it will become a comment box over to the side of the screen. So this could be a very good feature for students. They could have questions and they could have the question read aloud to them, and then they could answer using their voice. You'll notice it's a text box over to the right. I can click play. I would love to see an Arctic fox. And they would have their answer that way. And if they shared their document, if their teacher had Google Read and Write installed as well, they would have, they could listen to their answers. So now we're getting to our last feature on the toolbar, the practice reading aloud. And if we go back maybe to our other sample document, with the practice reading aloud, you can select some text and then select your practice reading aloud. It will take what you selected and open it up into a new Google Doc. This one is to help students practice fluency. So they could read text and then listen to themselves as they read it back. If I wasn't sure what this said, I could use my play button to have it read to me. Or if not, I can just start recording right away. Monkeys live all over the world and come in various shapes, sizes, and colors. As one of our closest relatives, these mammals are very intelligent and have opposable thumbs. So once I have read my text, I can select play. Monkeys live all over the world and come. So that is a great way to have a student hear how they are reading and help with comprehension and fluency as well. You can also send this to a teacher, so they could send it to their teacher and the teacher could listen to them practice reading. All right, so that is the overview of all the features on the Read and Write toolbar. Again, if you want to customize it all, you can go over into your three little dots and go into your options, and you can customize it over to the right. If you feel like having all those features turned on or open could be overwhelming to the students, then you can close some of them. If you go under features, it's just like on our cell phones where we can toggle over and we can turn off particular features. And this could be a good way, maybe if there's features that you don't think the students are going to use right now, and we want them to really just focus on a couple of main features to practice at the beginning, maybe while they're getting used to it, we can turn off some of these, and that will help them know which ones they should use. And then you can turn them back on when you want as well. So that is a lot of features that we went through in a short amount of time, but we just want to give you an awareness of all of them. And now, if you want to refer to them again, if you forget what one of them or some of them do, I'll just direct you back to our website. And under the tutorials, how-to guides, we have some more information about read and write. And this user guide, the quick reference guide for the toolbar, which is printable, that is a really good reference to have by you. You could print it off and have a description of what all the features do. So that can be really handy, especially at the beginning if you're new to read and write. The other thing is that we also have some how-to guides, one for students to try and install it as well. So there's lots of great information there that you can follow up with. And now we are going to turn it over to Richard, who is going to give us a bit of a demonstration on CoWriter.
Hello, I am Richard McConnell, and I'm an assistive technology specialist with the HRCE. And today we're going to take a look at the extension called CoWriter. So right now I'm in a Google Doc, and if I look into the top right-hand corner where you can see the cursor, you can see the CoWriter extension, which is a think bubble. Looks a bit like a cloud. If I click on it, you see the quick CoWriter menu, and we're going to go over some of the things in that menu, but in order to start using it, I need to turn it on. So here's the button here. I'm going to click it and turn it on. And in this case, the word prediction came right up. But often with CoWriter, when you toggle off and then toggle on after not using it for even a short period of time, it will prompt you to sign in. So if it asks you to sign in, just wait, and there'll be a pop-up in the top right-hand corner, and it will say your name. You'll click that, and then you'll be signed in. So it's pretty easy. So I'm going to go back into CoWriter. I'm going to toggle it on, and it's going to show up. So right now, it's quite large. So how did I make it this large? And I go to the CoWriter icon and click it, and then I go to options, and here is the font size of the word prediction, not of the document. So I've got it up quite high. So I mean, it's good for students who have issues with vision, because you can make it quite large. If I made it to 100% there and I X'd out the tab, you can see the tab here. I can X that out because I'm done with the settings. And I went back to my document. You can see the CoWriter is quite large. Or I can go back in to the CoWriter extension, click on that think bubble, go to options, and I could make it say, here I can just click, that changes the size of the word prediction box, and I'll go back to the document and you can see that it's smaller. So you can play around with it like that. The occasional things you're hearing are the words speaking out of the word prediction box. So if I go and left click on CoWriter, I can drag and drop this to my preferred spot. So if I like it to be over there on the right hand side of the screen, I can just drag and drop it over there. Or if I want, I could have it on the left side of the screen, and I'm just doing basic drag and drop, which is holding down your left click and then dragging it over with your mouse or your right hand using a touchpad. So I'm going to put it over here. And also, if I go back into options, I could change the color of the word word prediction palette. So background color, and of course you'd want to have contrasting colors. I could change that to a blue. You can see the example here. And the text color should contrast, of course, so that you can see it. I could try different. I could say, oh, that one's not that good. That's a little better, but I liked the black, so I'm gonna stay with that. So you can see it's a bit of a hook. The students could choose the colors they like, and maybe that would be a small motivator. Up in the top right-hand corner here is the number of guesses. If I click that, I can choose the number of guesses that will appear on the word prediction. So if we go in here right now, we can see I've changed the colors and there's 9 choices of words. If I go click into options again, and then click on number of guesses, I could change it, but in my opinion, it's good to have the 9 guesses because it gives yourself more of a chance that the word will come up that you're looking for while you're writing, especially for a student with a learning disability and so on. They would probably want more guesses than less. And then I can look down the right here. It will speak letters. Usually we leave that off because that could become quite annoying. Every time you typed an S, it would say S and so on. Speak words, that's helpful because it will give feedback to the student that they've typed in or put the right word into their document. And then speak sentences for sure, because they're going to want to hear back the sentence they wrote. And we're back in Co-Writer again. I'm going back into options, and I just wanted to look at the speak after speech to text again. So that should be on, because when students do speech to text, they're going to want to, have it read back to them what the sentence they just said, so that they know that the sentence sounds correct to them. And then you can fiddle with the voice that you're hearing on the screen. You could turn down the volume. You could speed up the voice or slow down the voice and the pitch. And we'll get more into that as the time goes on. And we're going to talk about topic dictionaries in a few minutes. But for now, I'm just going to go down here. So predict from page, I'll give you an example of that. Predict ahead, it's kind of a grammar thing, or ease of writing or ease of fatigue. It will try to predict the next word that it feels you're going to write. And then flexible spelling, just meaning if students are having trouble with spelling, it's trying to help them get the right word. So that's a quick look through options in Co-Writer. So I'm going to go back to my document. There is my word prediction. If I hover on the word the, it speaks, and so forth. Right? And if I click on the word the, it goes into the document. Okay? Now, if I wanted to say, write a sentence, the bird is flying, I can type a B. It's not in my word prediction. I'm scanning. And one essential thing is to teach the students to watch the word prediction as they're writing. I mean, for some words, they'll be able to spell quite easily. But for other words that they're not sure of how to spell, it's really important to attend or look at the word prediction to see if your word is there. So my word is not there yet. I'm a bad speller. I'm trying to spell bird, still not there, right? I can hover on it. It says the word, I say, yes, that's my right word. And this time, instead of clicking on the word bird with my cursor, I'm just going to go to the keyboard on my Chromebook or my PC or my laptop, whatever I'm using. I'm going to press the number 1. And then my word also goes in that way. So you can either go to the palette, click on the word, or you can type a number that's beside the word, and that word will go in. So say I wanted, like, number 3 here is the word had. I can listen to it, use the keyboard, and the word had goes in. Okay, and then I'm going to say 2 wings. And it doesn't come up. So I'm going to try to spell 2 as it might sound. Many students may not know about the W. And there, co-writer has helped me. 2. And I'm going to click that word into my document. And then I'm going to type a W. I'm going to misspell it. Not too bad of a misspelling, but there it is, wings. Type number 1 on the keyboard, which corresponded to the word wings in the palette, and it goes into the document. So now if I press a period, the bird had 2 wings. The sentence reads back to me, because if you remember, we went to options and we asked it to read back the full sentence. But it won't read back the full sentence until you put your punctuation in, such as a period or a question mark. So that's a quick look at how word prediction in the very basic way works. So you could use this if they're journal writing or if they're just writing, you know, about general things. Okay, so I should have got to this first, but for co-writer, you do need to send in a referral because it's a tier 2 support. So you would send the referral in through Tynet, or the teacher would send it in. And then we would receive that. There's 4 assistive technology specialists with the HRCE. So for those referrals that would come to me, I would open it up in Tynet. I would see the name, read about, you know, why they need it, why the referral was made. And of course, that would have had to have gone to a team or something before it was sent to me in Tynet. And then I would add it. I would add that student to the co-writer extension, because otherwise, you know, we have to pay for it. So this is the way it's done, and then the student would be able to use co-writer. So once the referral is finalized and I add the student to co-writer, it doesn't mean that it's on their account. You actually have to put the co-writer extension onto their account while they're signed into the Chromebook or signed into Google Chrome on a laptop or a computer. They would have to go to the Chrome Web Store and add the extension. So I've left a tab open over here. It's Google Chrome. I don't have, often below the search box, it'll say Web Store, but for some reason it doesn't say that for me right now. And then you see I'm in a search box and I've clicked the cursor into it. And as soon as I did that, co-writer showed up to support me with writing into a search box. So anytime that co-writer thinks that you're going to type something in a search box, a text box, a document, and so on, it most often will show up to support you. If it doesn't show up, it's usually something to do with the strength of the internet. But in general, so I typed into the search box for Google and there it is. So I'm just going to type in Web Store just to show you the process of how to get the extension added to the student account. So if I press Chrome Web Store, there it is. I could go right to extensions. So now I'm in the Chrome Web Store because I've received, I've told you to go and add the co-writer extension to the student account. So you're going to search the store for co-writer. Oh. And you can see, in this case, I am in a text box, but co-writer's not there. So that's why I'm saying it's like 90%. So I'm going to type co-writer. And of course, I'm in my account right now, so it says added up here. But if you're adding it for a new student, it will allow you to click it. So you would click it, and for me, it's saying remove from Chrome, but for you, it would say add extension. So you would add it, and I think there's another pop-up. You'd press that, and then it would go on to the student account. So if I go back and say I wanted to add this one, if I click that, that's a better example of what would happen with CoWriter. I would press add to Chrome and then add extension, but I don't want this extension, so I'm going to cancel it. But that just shows you the process of how to add, what you would do to add the CoWriter extension. So I am going to just close down that tab. Okay, so once you did that, CoWriter would be loaded as one of your extensions. So I have CoWriter pinned here. If I click on this extension folder, so that's a thing. So if you look to the far right of your screen, right beside the three dots or settings, you'll see a folder. It's an extension folder, and it has all of your extensions inside of it. So for the important ones, I pin them to the screen. So where you can see the pin is colored, those are the extensions I have pinned up here, which should be CoWriter here, ReadWrite here, and the ReadWrite PDF reader there. So you can see that. So ones I don't have pinned aren't there. So I think it's a good idea to go into your extension folder and say I unpinned CoWriter. I look up here, I don't see CoWriter, right? So when you download the extension particularly, it's going to go into that folder. So you're going to have to open up this extension folder here. And then here I have CoWriter. It's not pinned, so it's not there. If I click on the pin, all of a sudden it shows up, of course, because I've told it to. I'm going to hit the X, and I can see CoWriter, and it will stay there indefinitely until you unpin it, like for years. If you didn't unpin it for years, it would be there for years. Okay, so that's how to add the CoWriter extension. So now we've gone to the web store and we've studied how the word prediction works a little bit. So if we look at this palette, I'm just going to drag CoWriter right in the middle here. If we look in the palette, there's an icon of a book in the bottom center. So if I click on that, I can see what are called topic dictionaries. So if a student is in a class writing about a specific subject, writing about a book and its characters and setting, etc., or they're doing a science project or something, you can set up a dictionary that would support them to write for that topic. So if I go into here, which is the search box, I can type in something that I would like to write about. So if I type in Canada, right? I'm going to make a dictionary for the country of Canada because I'm going to write something about it. As I hover on the different topics available in the topic dictionary, it speaks them out to me. I clicked by accident. All right, so it's making the topic Canada because I clicked it, and it's just going to take a second, we hope. And then there's the Canada dictionary. And as I was saying before it interrupted me, is whatever you hover on, it will speak to you in those topic dictionaries. So you can see the different topics that I guess I've made over the past year or so. So I make sure those are all off. If I had Canada on with ancient Egypt, now they're both on, you know, that probably wouldn't be a great combination. So you have to make sure when you are in this in this part, the topic dictionary, that you have the right dictionaries on. So if I was going to write about Canada and I had that off and I had ancient Egypt on, and then I went to write with topics. Remember, I'm writing about Canada. Say I want to say Montreal. It might start coming up with words more related to Egypt than to Canada. Right? So I have to make sure always to go into this topic dictionary icon. Always go in there and just make sure that you have the right dictionary on for what the student needs to write about, or make sure, you know, the student needs to have those skills themselves. If they don't have those skills, then you should help them. So if I turn off that topic dictionary, oh, better click it again. It had a mind of its own. If I click that, now I'm not using a topic dictionary, I'm just general writing. But if I want to write about Canada, I'm going to turn that on. Again, to get my word palette back, I have to click this topic dictionary icon again. So I click it and I get my words back. Okay, so I'm going to type like Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Okay, so on the third letter, I can see the name Ottawa came up. So I'm going to click that. There's is, because I have, remember in settings, I put on predict the next word. So is would be a good next word. There's the, so I'm not having to use the keyboard at all, right? Which for many students is good, fatigue and, you know, knowing the keyboard, etc. Right? But now I want to write capital. It's not predicting capital, so I'm going to have to start typing so that it tries to, you know, to guess the word that I actually want. But I don't know how to spell capital. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so I spelled capital with a K. I had to get to the third letter this time, K-A-P. And then you can see here, the right word is, the word is there spelled correctly. So I could hit the number 8 on the keyboard and the right word goes in. So that's the advantage of the topic dictionaries, is that they're trying, you know, they're relating, if we're writing about Canada, it has more words stored to tell, you know, to write about anything you'd have to write about Canada. So there's, and then it says city of there. I don't know if you can see that. So that's more, I think that's more of a Google Doc thing. I don't think that's a co-writer thing. But I'm just gonna click in city. Actually, I'm gonna back that up. City. Oh my. City. And then there's of, I'll click it in. And then I'm going to try to spell Canada. Right? It's kind of the same mistake I made before, but there's Canada because it's the Canada topic dictionary. I'm going to click that in and then press my period. Ottawa is the capital city of Canada. So it's reading back to me. So the student is listening and editing and making any changes that they need to make. So that's the idea of a topic dictionary. So I can go back into this topic dictionary. I can turn Canada off by hitting the toggle. Say I was doing a book report on the book The Outlanders. I could go in here and type Outlanders, Outlander, and there's the dictionary for that topic. Right, and it takes some time, but it's collecting the words, and now it has that. If I was doing a report on the Amazon River, I could go and write Amazon. I'd want to make sure it's Amazon River. There it is down here. Amazon River. Click that in. Now I have an Amazon River topic dictionary. So I'm just making the point that unfortunately we had to hear that. The point I'm trying to make is that anything you want to write about, 99%, there's going to be a topic dictionary that you can make to support the student, or for the student to support themselves while they're writing. So I'm going to turn all the topic dictionaries off. So I mean, just think of it as there's 1 million, there's 2 million topic dictionaries, whatever, you know, whatever you want the student needs to write about is there. So I'm going to press topics again, and I'm going to get my palette back. And so that's just the brief description of how the topic dictionary works. So if I were typing, so right now I was going to say I was going to type the number 1, but I have co-writer on. And as you remember from before, if I type a number, the word goes in. So I'm going to say I want to type the number 1, but the number 1 doesn't show up. The word season came in because that was beside number 1 in the word prediction. So if I want to actually type a number, on the palette here, you see 1, 2, 3. So if you click the 1, 2, 3, you get a number pad. And I had wanted to type the number 1, so I could just go up here and click it, and then I get what I wanted, which was the number 1. Right, so once you're done typing your numbers, you would go down and click this ABC, and then you would get your word prediction palette back. So just remember, that's what the 1, 2, 3 is for. You click that, you're to the numbers, you click the letters ABC. To go back, you've got your regular word prediction. That's an important thing to remember, because sometimes when they're pressing numbers, words are going in, and then everyone wonders what's going on. So what's going on is that you're typing the number. So I type number 3 now, the word the goes in. So that can be a frustrating thing. So it's just something to remember. Okay. And then also co-writer has a built-in microphone for speech to text. So it's basically on a Chromebook, or while you're in Google Chrome, the mic's all the same anyway. There's just different shortcuts of getting to it. So I'm in a Google Doc. If I click Tools and Voice Typing, it would be pretty much the same thing as pressing the Google mic. There's a few things you can do to set the Google mic. Like when you press the period, it reads back. It's all the same features, actually. But so it's the same basic, the co-writer mic and the Google mic are very much the same thing. So if I press the microphone in the co-writer palette, then I get this click for speech to text. Now, the first time you turn it on, you're not actually turning it on, you're allowing it to work. So that's good. So I've just pressed it. If I click for speech to text, how come everything is working like this? Oh my. It should pop up with an allow, but for some reason, for me, it's not popping up. So that was kind of unfortunate. So I want to turn speech off. So just remember, the first time that you click the microphone, and then you click this microphone again, a pop-up will come here and it will say allow or block. So obviously you're going to press allow. And then you're ready to speak. So in speech to text, remember, we're not just going to turn the mic on. The student's not just going to turn the mic on and start talking without thinking about what they had to write first. So the first thing you need to do is think about the sentence that you're going to write. So say the sentence is about Canada, and you wanted to say that, you know, Regina is the capital of Saskatchewan. So that's a pretty tough sentence to write because Regina is not a regular word. Saskatchewan is horrifying because it has so many letters. So it's a good, you know, maybe it's a good sentence to write with speech. Could be very frustrating to use your keyboard and try to spell all that. So I've thought of my sentence. So now I'm going to click the microphone so that I can do some speech to text. Regina is the capital of Saskatchewan, period. And it should read back, but it doesn't always read back.
Season 1, the How Come Everything is Working Like This? Regina is the capital of Saskatchewan.
Very funny. So after you click the period, it should read back automatically. If it's not, it's because there's a glitch in the internet, or there's, you know, something related to how many people are on the internet in the school at the time. So I thought about my sentence. I turned on the mic. I said my sentence. I turned off the mic immediately when I was done speaking. Then I waited, and the sentence typed out, in this case, very well. So, and then I edited the sentence because I heard it back and it sounded right. So now that means I can move on to my next sentence and say the report will stay on the Canadian theme. Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba. Okay, so I'm going to go into my topic dictionary. I'm going to turn on the Canada dictionary because I'm starting to write about, you know, I'm using Canada as a theme. So I'm going to turn that on. So that Canada topic dictionary is on now. I'm going to, and so it's on and it's ready to write. So I know Winnipeg starts with the W. So as you know, I typed the W. I'm trying to spell Winnipeg with all my heart, and I've spelt it this way, the way you see in the document. But there it is, because the Canada Topic Dictionary is on. It discovered, you know, it thinks I want to write the word Winnipeg. I'm just having a bit of a hard time. So there it is. So I'm going to press the number 2 on my keyboard, and now the word Winnipeg has gone into my document, which is the word I wanted. So there's is, click that, the, right, I'm going to try to spell capital. I'm having, okay, so KPTA, but there it is, number 4. I'm going to click that in. There's of. I don't know how to spell Manitoba. I have no idea. So I'm going to use speech to text for one word. So I go in and click the mic, and I click it again, Manitoba, turn it off immediately. There, so I've used a combination of word prediction by typing and by using speech to text for one word that I didn't know how to spell. So it could be just used as a support that way. But a lot of students don't like to speak to the computer all the time because it, you know, it attracts a lot of attention to them. So for those very, so I've worked with them and I've said, well, just say that one word that you can't write. So that's what I gave an example of there. I'm going to go back, press the period.
Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba.
And that's how it usually works. It just reads back the last sentence. The first time I showed you, it read like the three last things I wrote. So that's a better explanation or way of seeing of how it works. All right. So we've looked a little bit at the speech function. So if we want to get back to our word prediction palette, we just press on the topic dictionary. Oh, topic dictionary again, and there it goes. Now, if I want to use speech to text, I'm going to press the mic. I'm just doing a little test here. Press the mic again, and yeah, we're back to the word prediction. So that's just if what you want isn't there. If you want this, remember on the bottom is where the icons are that change things, right? So I could go from here to the mic. The mic's ready to use. I don't want to use the mic because it's the bottom palette. If I press that speech to text icon again, I get my word palette back. And I can move this word prediction to wherever I want. Another kind of cool thing it does is instead of the words being on the side, either side of the document, you can click, hold, left click and hold, and drag it to the bottom and let go. Oh, and sometimes it's a trick. The words will lay at the bottom of the screen. It's just not working that well for me right now. There you go. So it might take you a few times too, so it's not a bad example. My incompetence is a good example for you all. So I drag it down. Now my words are on the bottom. And a lot of students like it this way. So I'm hovering on the bottom. It'll often give you less guesses because remember in CoWriter we set the guesses to 9, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's 8 guesses. So the layout on the bottom is a bit different sometimes, and I've even seen less than 8 guesses sometimes. But many students love it that way, and it's good for them to know that they can do that. And then you can see over here on the right the numbers. Remember, if you want to type a number, you would press that. There's your number pad. If I press number 5, the 5 goes in. And then I'm going to press the number pad to do the word prediction again. So there it is laid on the bottom. So if you want it to go back to the side, you just left click and you drag it up. And sometimes it'll go back, but in this case, I was lucky and it stayed there. So it's interesting the different types of things you can do with CoWriter. This is just a reading function. So if I don't know if I actually have to highlight it. I think I could just put the cursor here. And if I press this and press play.
Regina is the capital of Saskatchewan. Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba.
It will read whatever comes after the cursor. So that's another good editing feature. You can see back 10.
The capital of Saskatchewan. Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba.
So it's like a back button and it replays. That's the reading speed. Okay. And then I just want to get back to my word prediction. So again, look at the bottom of the screen and just press buttons until you get to the word prediction that you want. Okay, so that's a look at that very powerful tool of CoWriter. We've gone to the web store and we've loaded it onto the student's GNSPES account. We've looked at word prediction, we've looked at speech to text, we've looked at topic dictionaries, we've looked at the read back feature. If you go into Google and you type in CoWriter Quick Card, you will receive a very brief tutorial explanation of what the tools do and how it works. You can see how it works, and it will go and do a lot of the things that we've talked about today. But because I've looked at the quick card, I just want to show you a couple more things, actually. So that's a nice tool. So you're just going into Google, typing in Co-Writer Quick Card, and it's coming up. And also, this is on our assistive technology website. So I am going to go to New Tab. And I'm going to use the Google mic to go to National Geographic Kids. National Geographic Kids. Right, I'm going to go to the animal section. Okay, what I'm going to do is make a topic dictionary from something that I'm reading about. So I'll go into mammals. And say I was doing some writing about the African elephant. So I'm in here reading. I can go up to Co-Writer. The Co-Writer icon is there because it's just always on that tab. I can click it and I can say create topic from this page. So this is very cool. So I click it. Okay. I'm going back to my document that we were writing about. Now, if I go into topic dictionary, there's the African elephant. So isn't that neat? But now remember, I probably don't want African elephant and Canada together. So I'm going to turn off the Canada button. And now I'm just writing about my project, which is the African elephant. So I went here, I'm reading about it. I went to the Co-Writer icon, I clicked it, and I said, create topic from this page, and it did that. So that's quite powerful, right? I'm going to go back into my document, right? And I'm going to type an E, and the word elephant comes up automatically, right? So that gives you a good example of how powerful this tool is, especially for students who have a little bit more difficulty with spelling than some others. So that's that one. I could highlight the word Manitoba. I'm really hoping this is going to work. I could go up to the Co-Writer icon here again, up beside where all our extensions are on the top right-hand side of the screen. And I could say create topic from the selected text. Now I'm really hoping this is going to work, but even if it doesn't, this is how it should work. Okay, so now I think I've done it. So I highlighted the word Manitoba right in my document. It could have been on the website, could have been in a book, could have been the text, could have been anywhere. As long as it was on the Chromebook that I was using, of course. And there's a Manitoba topic dictionary, right? But I don't want African elephant and Manitoba together. So I'm going to go turn off the African elephant dictionary. And then I'm going to go, I just have Manitoba active. And say I start to write Brandon. Not impressed. You would think Brandon would be in for Manitoba. I'm just checking my dictionaries right. So as well, things like that go on as well. maybe I've been doing too much. It's confused. But it should work very effectively. And those are just two examples of when you're on anything, that tab's going to be there with co-writer, and you can create a topic from the page or create a topic from just one word, right? You just click on those and they go right in. So I believe for now that's all I'm going to tell you about co-writer today. I hope that this has been helpful. And if you want to contact any of your assistive technology specialists about the potential use of co-writer for one of your students, just look up who that person is for the SLC that you're in. Okay.